Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hate the whole reductive, pointless, needless. Hi, welcome. I barely even, I don't even have that much of an audience, but anyway, welcome back. If you're watching, thank you so much. I've said this before, but these I'll just do them sporadically. And right now, I am dealing with not being able to hear from my left side. TMI, but I have an ear infection and I can't literally hear anything. Like nothing. I'm going about, like, when it comes to my voice and the range of it, I'm going by the meter that the software that I have to record this tells me, and I feel like I'm spiking to the red a lot. Again, I don't have a setup. There's a lot of kinks that I have to work out, and this definitely is something that I did not expect to happen, and it's unfortunate because I've been wanting to do videos more and so forth. But here we are. I'm trying to power through it because I said and I committed to myself that I wanted to do more of these because I enjoy them. To be honest, it's just because I enjoy them. There's nothing more to it. It's just I really enjoy this. I like talking about this, and I have only certain people in my life that appreciate or I can talk to about this. So even if I have 2 or 3 people watching this on anytime I release it, I feel like it's perfectly fine by me. But enough said. Hopefully this whole situation gets resolved in the next few days. But here we are. So I definitely wanted to break down this weekend's box office because I made a video prior, like the week prior, about this because I've been wanting to do these for a long time now because I do like discussing the whole business aspect of the box office and the money aspect of movies because I feel like this is very interesting to me, and I hope that there's people that are actually interested in it. And again, I said it before, I feel like a lot of the times, a lot of the reviewers or people that do this tend to have some sort of a hidden agenda behind it. They tend to either not prompt up some movies or not give some movies their flowers, even if it's something that they don't agree with. So numbers are black and white. There's nothing that we can do with it. Even if I like a movie or I dislike a movie, they're just there. So I can't do anything. I might hate the movie with all my heart, although I don't really hate a movie. I just can be very indifferent about a movie and still be like, well, regardless of what I said, still made money. And I've said this before to people that I know, and I think that I've said this before in videos that I've done on Facebook. I feel like one perfect example of that is Avatar, the first one. I did not care that much for that movie. It was very, very good, groundbreaking when it came to the technology behind it, but I felt like the story was reductive. It was a beautiful movie that just succeeded and made a lot of money, and well, we got the second one, and the second one was way better. I think that the second one was actually way better. But the first one was definitely a dichotomy because I did not like it. I did not enjoy it. I felt like it was kind of boring. But I feel like the world building aspect of it actually helped it out a lot. And here we are. Like, it made a lot of money. I can't say anything. And I'm not in love with the movie. I don't feel like any type of wave about it. But the numbers are there. So what can I do, right? Anyway. Enough of that. Let's just get into the box office breakdown. And I do want to say that I'll probably upload more videos today or in the following days, or maybe at the same time, of different topics. I don't want this to be like an hour and a half video because there's other things that I want to discuss. So if you don't like the box office aspect of it, I am recording other videos, things about the situations that are currently happening with Hollywood, especially with the delays and the writer strikes and whatnot. So if you're interested in that, just know that I'll probably upload another video right after this one. Anyway, enough said. So it's no surprise, Barbie is number 1 and Oppenheimer number 2. Those are the two behemoths of movies for this past weekend. And in my last breakdown for the box office, I had said that there was a lot of commentators and a lot of conservative commentators. I want to preface on the whole conservative thing because there are the majority of them are conservative, but there's a lot of commentators as a whole, not only conservatives, but commentators as a whole, that have been saying that this movie, Barbie in particular, because it is number 1. Oppenheimer is a different story, and I'll get into that once I keep rounding out the box office top 10. Other movies I'm not just gonna touch on because what the hell. But anyway, we'll be here like for 2 hours. But Barbie, everybody was saying that it was gonna fall off a cliff, that it wasn't gonna do good, that people were just not going to dive into it, that people weren't going to look at it, or that it was just a one-time fluke and then that's about it. And to those people's surprise, and not to mine, to be quite honest, but to those people's surprise, the movie did very, very good. I'm sorry, I know I'm over here, like again, like I said, working out the kinks. But let me just use the weekend. Here you go. This is the one that I wanted to put up. So here it is, 43%. It only dropped 43% compared to its opening weekend. That is massive. That is very, very good. Why? Because usually blockbusters, big blockbusters that open over 150 million domestically, or at least in its opening weekend, domestically speaking, tend to fall off around 50 to 55 if the movie is good. If the movie is terrible, then it tends to drop a little bit more over in the 60s, right? And this movie did not do that. It did 43% in the drop off. That's what it did from weekend to weekend. That is amazing. That is really good. And I stated before that I didn't think that this movie was going to have that big of a drop off. Why? Because if you would have, if people would actually take the time, these people, I know that they have agendas and they have certain biases against movies, and that's perfectly fine. We all have them, but it's one thing to have those, and then there's another thing to just be devoid of reality, right? I feel like a lot of these are just devoid of reality. Ben Shapiro is one of them. I actually added him on Twitter. Like, I at him on Twitter, and I was like, didn't you say that it was going to fall off a cliff? And here we are. So, yeah. I mean, hopefully, he is a little bit more of a sane person and be like, well, yeah, I was wrong. But anyway, that's beside the point. But if only fell off 43%. And I think that when you compare it to Oppenheimer, which also fell off only 43%, you can definitely see that there is an effect there when it comes to the whole Barbenheimer thing that came up about. And I think that definitely helped Oppenheimer more than what it did Barbie. I never doubted that Barbie was going to be a hit. I didn't think it was going to be this mega hit. I thought it was going to do well, but I never expected it to be in the $1 billion mark. I knew it was going to do money, and I was like, hopefully, maybe, probably make $1 billion. Once I saw the first box office weekend, I was like, okay, then it's definitely going to make $1 billion. Like, that's just, it's right there. It's in the writings. So I don't think that Barbie has benefited more from the Barbenheimer effect, but I do think that out of the two, Oppenheimer definitely benefited the most. So much so that they both have 43% drop-offs. That is really good, especially when it comes to Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer is a 3-hour drama movie, which they don't usually make a lot of money when it comes to the box office, because usually these movies are meant more for award season and for the prestige of it all. I've said it before, Nolan really definitely wants that Oscar nomination and that Oscar win with this movie, and well, hopefully he gets it. I haven't been able to see the movie. Again, 3 hours is kind of a chore for me, and I've had people that really were excited to watch this movie, and they were like, I don't know if it was supposed to be 3 hours, but I digress. I'll eventually watch it. I don't know if I'm going to do a review of it, but I'll definitely give it a watch. But yeah, it's very good for him, for sure. And I do think that obviously out of these two movies, the one that is getting the most benefit out of this and probably the biggest praise is Greta Gerwig. I think that her having a blockbuster hit and probably essentially in the next few days, $1 billion movie just on your third outing for a big blockbuster. Again, that's amazing. And I can't be more than happy for Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling. I think that this really, really helped them out a lot. Again, love it or hate it, the movie, that it still doesn't make any difference when it comes to the box office. Now, I will touch upon the whole worldwide thing in a bit, but some people, one movie or one company that really hasn't been able to get lucky in the box office is definitely Disney. Disney is on a decline. They released Haunted Mansion, and apparently nobody gave a damn about it because it opened with $24 million only. That is super, super bad. That is terrible. I don't know. I wasn't particularly interested in this movie. I know that I've seen people that I know of people that have watched it that really liked it. I already watched the first one, like the oh god, the one of years ago. I think it was like what, 2003, 2004, maybe. Oh, I don't know if it was 2013, but I feel like it was like in 2004, 2003. So it's been like 20 years, right, since the first one came out with Eddie Murphy. I like that one. This one, the marketing didn't do anything for me. So again, this is going to be probably another flop to add to the list of Disney's flops for the year. Number 4 would be Sound of Freedom, and that movie continues to hold really well as a 35% drop, and it did add 126 theaters. So again, the movie is doing a lot of business. It already crossed the 150 mark. And that's insane, especially when you consider that there's other movies like, for example, Elemental from Disney that's only at 145. You also have Mission Impossible that even with the day added from yesterday, still Sound of Freedom is still above it. And I'm very, very happy for it. I haven't watched the movie. I haven't been able to watch it, unfortunately. But I'm glad that it's getting the reception that it's getting and that people are looking forward to watch it and continue to watch it. Now, it is going to be released in some markets worldwide, so hey, they're still going to add probably more, and probably people get more aware and get into the business of understanding what the whole human trafficking and child trafficking especially, how important it is for our society to have those conversations and to be aware of. So glad for the studio, glad for the movie as a whole. It really is an achievement. Now, Mission Impossible, unfortunately for Paramount and for Tom Cruise, isn't the hit that it was. And to talk about a little bit about that is I feel like they should have moved this movie. I feel like probably would have benefited from not having that much competition, right? And I also think, I don't know, like part of me thinks that might be the reason as to why this movie is not doing good. But another part of me is that I probably feel that people are just tired of these long franchises. It's like, it's already what, the 8th movie, the 7th movie. It's like, just end it, please. Like, just end it. And I feel like the premise of the movie is still the same. So people still have this, people know what to expect of the movie. There's no change or shift when it comes to it. And I know that everybody was riding high on Tom Cruise when it came to his success with Top Gun Maverick, but I don't think it was enough or sufficed enough to actually make this movie a hit. It even stands at 448 million worldwide. Again, it's not even doing business worldwide, so it's a shame. It really is a shame. So who knows? I do think that Paramount and probably Tom Cruise should have reconsidered moving this movie, because not only did Barbie and Oppenheimer exceed expectations, but you also have Sound of Freedom that is definitely doing a dent on this movie's business. So I don't even think it's going to break even, because the $300 million production budget is a lot. So, I mean, I don't know. Let's see if the second part is actually going to do anything, but I really don't think that is going to happen. So, hey, at least the last one is going to be the last one. It is what it is. The 6th one would be Talk to Me, which is an A24 horror film. I am excited to see that one. I'm very much a fan of horror. So that one is one that I definitely want to see. And this one is already on its way to profit. The budget for that was only like $4 million. So again, 10 million on its opening day. A24 is definitely one of those studios which understands budgets and the limitations of it, and making sure that these movies are released in a way, or marketed in a way that it can actually be profitable. horror is cheap to make, but A24 doesn't only do horror, although I feel like their horror movies are the ones that probably stand out the most to people. But I think this movie, I want to see it. The word of mouth that I've at least heard from the people that have watched it is really positive. So I will see if I can actually watch it and review it. I'm excited. Again, you'll probably guys, if you guys do stick around, you'll see a lot of horror probably reviews on this channel if I continue doing it, because I love horror. Like I love even the cheapest, most eye-rolling horror that you might think about it. I probably enjoy it because I feel like the ridiculousness of it all, it's amazing to me. Number 7, Indiana Jones, which again, dead on arrival, is only 167. Nobody seems to care about that movie, and I don't even really want to give it that much of my time, so it is what it is. 167 million domestic, and I think it's only at 300 and something worldwide. Probably like around 4. Not much to talk about. They should have just shelved that movie, or I don't know, wrote it as a write-off. I don't freaking know. Elemental is number 8. That movie did leg out really well. It's at 145 million, and I think worldwide, if we check the chart real quick, is at 394. I think it already reached that $400 million mark. And even here, if you see this like line right here, this is where it expected it to be based on its opening weekend. So it's legged out really well. Unfortunately, it's not going to hit that break-even mark due to the big budget. But I'm kind of glad that movie didn't get that much of a heat, or at least isn't that big of a flop that people were predicting it to be. Not to be mistaken, it is still a flop. But it's not as huge as other people, or people were making it out to be. Even me, I was like, ooh, this is like terrible. But it's like that. I think that maybe once it goes into Disney Plus, it's gonna make an audience there, and people are gonna probably like look into it more. So we shall see. Number 9 would be Insidious: The Red Door. I haven't watched it yet. I know it's already on digital, so I'll probably do that because I don't really want to go all the way to the theater to watch this movie, especially with the word of mouth not being that good. But I don't know if I want to spend $20 on it. But anyway, it's at 78 million. I don't know if it's going to reach that $100 million mark domestically. So, I mean, it's still doing some type of business. So, and then to round it all off, at number 10 would be Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. And that movie's doing good. That movie especially, like not that movie, but that franchise will be in the talks of one of my videos that I'm gonna upload in the next few hours or whatnot, because there's a lot to be said about what's currently happening in Hollywood, and especially when it comes to that movie as a whole. Then if we go into the worldwide chart to the number 2 movies for this past weekend, you see there are Barbie and Oppenheimer. This is where they both stand worldwide as of today. That is counting yesterday. So I do know that Box Office Mojo, if you go over here, they do have like the top movies of 2023, and you can clearly see that Barbie is already at $795 million worldwide. It is right there, it's right there to overtake Guardians of the Galaxy. Now the question is whether or not it's going to overtake Super Mario Brothers as the number 1 movie for the year. I think it has a shot. I think that with the holds that it's been getting and the amount of traction that it keeps getting and momentum, I think it definitely has a shot to overtake Super Mario Brothers. But even then, it doesn't really matter. I think the movie's already at like what, $90 million in profit. So and that's only in the box office. That's not counting everything else when it comes to like the product sales, merchandise, and probably the digital and physical releases when it comes when it comes to the overall business of the movie, right? So I feel that it's very interesting, and it's a success story in itself, right? It's incredible. It's incredible how that movie has been able to almost hit $800 million worldwide just in a matter of like 2 weeks. Like it hasn't even been 2 weeks since it released. I think the 2 weeks is actually up on this Thursday. So in less than 2 weeks, this movie has made well over $500 million, and it's skyrocketed to number three domestically speaking, and it's definitely going to overtake Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse by the end of today. Now, whether or not it's going to beat out Super Mario for both the worldwide and the domestic is yet to be seen. But I think that at least domestically, I think it does have a chance to make that. It's going to definitely probably overtake Super Mario. The only issue that I have is probably when it comes to the worldwide. 1.4 is essentially the same amount that they have currently, just added in the next like 2 months, maybe, if the movie continues it. It might have a shot because there's nothing in the next few weeks that can probably make a dent on it. A lot of the other movies that are coming out are probably dead on arrival. So even from the same studio, Warner Brothers, Blue Beetle is not looking to make any type of business. So yeah, so I think that this is very interesting. I don't think that we've seen a phenomenon when it comes to Barbie and Oppenheimer, and the benefit that both of these movies have had due to just something very wild as a meme, and people organically making this a huge deal. I think Oppenheimer definitely benefited more than Barbie, for sure, when it comes to the Barbenheimer aspect of it. But I think it's good. It's good for both of these movies to happen, and then hopefully again, and I don't have any much of a, how do you call that? I don't have much hope when it comes to Hollywood and its overall notion of what to do with something like this. I think they're just learning all the wrong lessons. But it is safe to say that both of these movies are a testament, and even Sound of Freedom, that you can do new and original stuff and cater to a certain audience and still make money. I know a lot of people put Barbie as a niche type of movie, but I would also put Oppenheimer there. I don't know. I've seen people on my Facebook that have been putting lengthy posts on how Oppenheimer is just like this amazing cinema film for cinema and all of this, and how broad its audience is. And I'm like, no, it's not. It's actually very niche. So it's interesting that they put Barbie in the niche category, but they don't think that Oppenheimer is. I think that out of the two, the one with the most demographic is definitely Barbie. So that's why it's making the money that it's making, not to take away from Oppenheimer. But people have their various opinions when it comes to these movies, but it's definitely a testament that you can make groundbreaking movies and new stories and still make money, as long as you market it well. And second, just understand your audience. I think that both of these directors, and even Sound of Freedom, which it took a leap of faith releasing it, but these people understood that there was a need in the market for certain movies and for certain stories to be told, and they were told, and that's why successes happen. So I couldn't be more happier for both of these movies and for Sound of Freedom, and I hope that we see something like this in the future, although again, more on that later. But anyway, hope you guys enjoy this. If you want to stick around, like, subscribe, share, whatever, the gist of it all. So I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.